Okay, so we're going to start today's practice in a forward child's pose, wide-legged child's pose. So taking your time, slow and steady, to drop into child's pose. Taking a little moment here just to connect with your breathing. Taking your time to listen to the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Head reaching away from the sit bones and softening all of your body downwards to the ground. Swimming one hand around to the ankle, just taking hold of the heel and reaching the opposite hand away. Release, bringing the hands around to the front and then doing the same thing on the other side. Finding a reach away through the hand, lengthening through the shoulders. And slowly release. Lovely. Taking a moment here. And just bring yourself to your all fours, spreading in the backs of the hands, spreading in the backs of the feet. Just breathing here in your neutral all fours pose. And slowly we're just going to round off the shoulder blades as much as you can. And then sinking them down. Finding the squeeze as they sink. And just moving through this in your own pace. So protracting and then retracting the shoulders. So just finding the rounding and finding the sinking, melting down. Just moving through those two motions here. And then just bringing your weight over the wrists, drawing the shoulders up to the ears and then sliding the shoulder blades down in your back. Just noticing that for a few times for yourself. Lovely. Releasing in the toes. And then from here, we're just going to bring our wrists towards the ground. As you push into the backs of the shoulder blades, so you round off into the shoulder blades. And maybe we could take this into an angry cat as you breathe here. Drawing the abdominals close to the spine. And then slowly release. From here, we're just going to yawn the left hand all the way up to the sky, opening across the chest. And then finding your thread the needle through. Just resting your ear to the ground, taking your time here just to rest in this pose, and then opening all the way out, finding that opening, and then melting down. Again, taking your time here as you breathe all the way up. Float the hand down. This time the opposite hand is going to reach all the way up to the sky, taking your hand, your gaze up to the sky. breathing here for a few breaths. Allowing that hand to fall towards the opposite hip, and just taking a little moment here to relax, to open that top shoulder. Sending the hand across the back, pressing the hand into the ground, pushing to lift, and then finding your all fours pose here. Just taking some circles around the wrists, nice and gentle. And then circling the other way. And back to center. Head reaching away from tailbone. Inhale, reaching hand high. On the opposite side now. Inhale and exhale, thread the needle through. Resting the ear to the ground. Inhale, reaching high. And exhale, find the twist. Inhale, big reach. Pushing the ground away with the opposite hand. And threading through to soften down. This time finding the open, and one more time just sending that through. Resting your shoulder to the ground, and then taking your time here just to breathe for a moment. Feel the pull, and then inhale, float the opposite hand open, reaching the hands towards the sky. And thinking about reaching out of the shoulder joints so there's no sinking or dumping in the shoulder. Slowly swimming the hand around to the back as you roll that shoulder open. Slowly and gently bringing the hand down nice and soft. Taking your hand to your all fours pose here. From here we're going to tuck the toes under, and we're just going to reach back to your down dog. Feet slightly wider than hip width apart as you breathe into this space. If you feel ready, you can reach your forearms down towards the ground, maybe drawing your feet together and lifting the heels, finding your dolphin pose. In dolphin, just notice the connection with your hands, your forearms and your elbows into the ground, shoulder blades opening. One more big breath as you push the shoulder blades away, lifting the sit bones nice and high, and then slowly lowering the knees. Taking yourself softly and gently into a child's pose with your legs together. Forehead reaching down to the ground. Slowly swimming the hands around towards the feet, and now we'll take a rabbit pose. So just breathing here for a moment, reaching your sit bones towards your heels. If you'd like an extra added stretch here, we can drop the crown of your head down towards the ground and lift up your sit bones away from your heels as you round out through the spine. breathing in this pose. It's really important to stay mindful of our breath here. Feeling the stretch across the shoulder blades. And then slowly lowering the pelvis towards the heels. Bringing your hands to the outside of the knees and just pushing the ground away as you find your comfortable seated position. Taking your hands to heart center here for a moment or two as you breathe here. Lovely. Releasing your hands, maybe taking them around the back, interlacing in your fingers, and then if we can, open and squeeze the shoulder blades back together as we open across the chest. Feel free to arch in the spine here as you reach your chin towards the ceiling, gaze nice and high. Lovely. Coming out of that and just releasing in the hands. If that was too much for you, you can now place your hands on the base of your spine and just have a little moment to look to the sky, drawing the elbows back towards each other. And slowly release. Bringing your hands around and just give yourself a hug around the shoulders. Feel your hands reach as far back as they can to the shoulder blades, and then we're just going to rock that out. Feel that out for yourself. Maybe if it feels right to do so, you can drop your head down towards the chest, chin reaching down. Lovely. Bringing the chin, gaze facing forwards, and then we're just going to open our hands as we reach out nice and wide, wingspan reaching as far away as we can, and then slowly floating the hands down. Really nice. Just going to come to a gate pose now. So kneeling on one leg and extending the other leg out to the side. Heel in line with the knee as we inhale, growing tall as we reach for the sky, hands to prayer. Exhale, float the hands down. This time resting your hand on your thigh of the leg that's extended away. Inhale, big reach up to the sky. And then sliding that hand down the leg as you find a side stretch, reaching here. Lovely. Rolling that back shoulder open as you breathe into this stretch. Slowly and gently floating the hands down. Bringing your hands to a cactus. And then from here, we're just going to rotate a few times for our shoulders. Cactus, and then pressing down, hands in line with the elbows. Shoulder height with the elbows. And one more of these. This time, we're going to send our right hand that's the same hand as the leg that's long, is going to go underneath. It's going to wrap around, and we're going to find our palms touching to eagle pose. Breathing here. Abdominals drawing in as we breathe here. Lifting hands to the sky, elbows reaching up, and then slowly dropping your chin to the chest. 2 more of these. Inhale to lift up. And exhale to fall down. Releasing the hands, big inhale to the sky. This time, opposite hand to the leg that's out long is going to drop down towards the ground, shifting over onto our toes, pressing the heel of the hand into the floor, fingertips reaching away from the toe as you breathe here. Top arm is going to reach open towards the other hip at the bottom. So reaching around if we can for the hip at the side. Breathing here, maybe taking your gaze down to the ground. And slowly swiping the back as you reach all the way up to the sky, gaze to the sky. Lovely. If we want to now, we can take our side plank position as you breathe here. Making sure your shoulders stacked over the wrist. Not sinking in the shoulder, but really pushing the shoulder blade away. Easy neck. Staying here for one more big breath. And slowly lower that leg back down. Take your time to adjust here as you push the hips forward, and then allow that top hand to pull you all the way back up. Reaching the hands nice and wide, seeing if our fingertips can touch at the back. And then bring your hands to heart center. Lovely. We're just going to repeat that on the other side. So take your time here. If you do need to, you can always fold your mat over so that it's a little bit more of a cushion for underneath your knees, or you can place your knee on a cushion at home if you have one nearby. So we're just going to take the other side now, finding your gate pose here, hands to heart center. Bringing your focus in. Big inhale, reaching hands to the sky. Exhale, float the hands down. One more big breath. This time, sending the hand of the leg that's out long and finding your deep side stretch as you breathe here, opening in the shoulders, looking underneath the armpit, peering under the armpit as you breathe here. Lovely, bringing your hands up high and then releasing down. Maybe just roll your shoulders a few times for yourself here. Lovely. Reaching the hands all the way up. And exhale to heart center. This time reaching your hands forward and just bringing your hands to our cactus. We're going to rotate a few times for yourself. Just finding that rotation in the shoulders here. This time your left will scoop underneath your right and find your eagle pose. Breathing into this space. Feeling that stretch across the back, across the shoulder blades. And then we're just going to inhale, lift our gaze to the ceiling. And then exhale, drop chin to chest. Inhale, reaching all the way up. And exhale, bring your focus down. Bringing yourself back to your eagle pose. And just slowly and gently releasing the hands, opening as wide as we can. Wingspan reaching beyond And then slowly bringing your hands down. Inhale high, reaching for the sky. This time opposite hand to the leg that's out long floats down to the ground. And you press your weight into the ground. Soft hands, shoulders reaching away, so that there's no sinking in the joints, but we're really pushing the ground away here as you breathe. In your own time, you can just take that into a side stretch, rotating in the shoulders here, peering underneath the armpit, and then maybe swimming your hand around the back for the opposite hip as you breathe and open in your shoulders. Taking the gaze up high, and then slowly bringing your hand back to a vertical line. Fingertips in opposition to each other, and then we'll just take our side plank on this side, breathing into this pose. Maybe take the gaze down. And slowly and gently bringing yourself out of that safely, bringing the knee down, and then allowing that top hand to pull you all the way up. And bringing the knee in as you come to your kneeling position. Here we have the option to do our hero pose, so taking the legs wide towards the hips and dropping down through the sit bones. Just taking a little moment here to breathe and connect with your breath in hero pose. Optional extra here is to just reach the hands all the way up to the sky. Still in prayer, hug the ears with the biceps and then drop the hand down here as you breathe in prayer. Elbows lifting and reaching to the sky. If at any point the hero pose becomes a little bit challenging, you always have the option to go back to your comfortable kneeling position. Reaching the hands all the way up to the sky, and then bring your hands to heart center. One more breath in hero pose. Taking your hands to your heels, just lifting the gaze, chest to the sky. And slowly and gently taking your time to come up to kneeling, and then taking a wide-legged kneeling pose. Breathing here. Lovely. We're just going to do a comfortable seated position. Find your sit bones here. And just bring yourself round. Feel free to have a sip of water and then go back to this place. So as you breathe here, you're just going to send your left leg long, draw your right heel in towards the sit bones, lengthening through the spine nice and long. Lovely. Bringing your hands, fingertips towards the back of the mat and heel of the hand towards the body. The opposite hand is just going to reach forward past the leg, so that we're reaching out of the shoulder joint as much as we can, fingertips reaching to the front of the mat. Lovely. As we reach forward, we're just going to bring our hand around the shin, and I might do this on a few angles, and then we're just going to open out the top shoulder blade so that we're hugging here. Lovely. Just breathing here for a moment or two in your bind. Can we draw the top shoulder open? And slowly release out of that pose. Reaching your hands forward, finding your sit bones nice and long. And then we're just going to reach our shoulders out to round, and then bring the shoulders back in towards the body. So reaching and extending the shoulders away, and then slowly drawing them back. 2 more of these. And exhale to draw back. And the last one, nice big reach. And slowly drawing them back. Squeezing in the other leg now. Lengthening, lifting through the chest, heart open. One more breath. Slowly bringing the heel of the hand round towards the pelvis, fingertips reaching away, reaching forward past the leg, past the toes, really thinking about reaching out of the shoulder blade to find a stretch across the back. Lovely. From here we take the hand around the shin, and if we feel like it's right and available to us, we can just slowly and gently open out our shoulder and take that bind behind us. Nice and gentle. Added option here is always to drop the head as you bow the head down. Lovely. Slowly and gently releasing the hands and bringing your feet in towards the chest as you sit on the sit bones, lifting your chest nice and high, and then tucking one foot underneath. We're just going to bring ourselves to standing as we stand here, wiggling our fingers. Lovely. So we've just opened up our shoulders. Maybe we might feel a bit more free. So we're just going to do one balance, a flamingo pose, where we can take ourselves into that bind if we feel it's available. So there are different options that we can take for this balance. First one is that we might stand, lifting our knee, squeezing our hips in, taking hold of opposite hand to the shin, and maybe squeezing inwards. The outside hand is going to reach forward all the way past the legs. We're going to squeeze around the shin, taking hold of the bind. As you breathe here, spreading in the toes, lengthening through the spine, deep compression here, 2 breaths. And then slowly to come out of it, release the hands, release the legs, and just slowly float that feet down. Nice. And then we're going to take that on the other side. So just have a little moment beforehand, maybe rolling the shoulders, maybe standing in our mountain pose. Lovely. And we're just going to shift our weight into the other foot now, spreading in the toes, engaging the backs of the legs, drawing the knee up towards the chest, maybe squeezing around the shins. If you want to, you could play with bringing your nose towards the knee. And then taking opposite hand around the shin, finding the reach. If our hands don't reach, we can just breathe here. Slowly releasing. Inhale, reaching tall. And exhale, float the hands down. Taking a moment here to clasp and interlace the fingers or place your hands on the base of your spine. And then just open your heart as you breathe here. Lovely. Slowly and gently bringing yourself to a comfortable kneeling position. Settling on your mat. Lovely. Taking a few final breaths here. One more big breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Big cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Hands to heart center. Thank you very much for joining me for this practice. Namaste.